強く強く輝いて消えた流れ星ほら命が燃える何かに怯え走り続けた
right, everybody, welcome back to the LAS Draft Week 6. It's Gundo here. I'm back, and I'm ready to get into this one. We got a good couple of games on the day. We got the Stallions versus the Eagles for Game 1. And for Game 2, we got the Marauders versus the Wolves. So it should be a couple of bangers today. I'm hoping to see some bloody games, a lot of action, high-intensity, high-octane games. So I'm going to be joined by Daydream and MU Kevo today as my casters. They're going to be giving you that play-by-play and color commentary that you definitely want to see and hear. So without further ado, I'm just going to check in with the teams, make sure everybody's ready to go, and when we are ready to get into it, I'll let everybody know here. But for now, we can kind of just run through the standings a little bit. Hornets over here in Pool A in first place. In second, Marauders. Following them in third, Falcons. Grizzlies right behind them. Wolves and Guardians tied for sixth, with the Rhinos all the way at the bottom there. Now for Pool B over here in the LAS draft, we got the Dragons in first place in Pool B. Unicorns in second. Outlaws followed by the Eagles in fourth, Spartans, Crusaders, and then lastly Lions and Stallions. So Stallions got their work cut out for them if they want to make or try to make a run towards that playoffs picture. They got to beat the Spartans there. They got to win their next 4 matches to even tie up there with the Spartans. That's just if they don't win theirs, but up against the fourth place Eagles, who definitely want to continue moving up higher in the standings here. So I'm gonna check in with my casters as well as everybody in the games playing today, and I'll let you guys know when we're ready and see if we can get that Penta draft started for you guys. But again, it is week 6 of the LAS draft, and it should be exciting. We're gonna have a lot of action coming out here in these games, and I really want to see what these players can put out on the tables. The Eagles here really trying to look for a win here as well. The Stallions really trying to fight their way back into it. So once we do get into that pennant draft, I will let you know. But this playoff picture is kind of looking closer towards the top of the standings. At the bottom, it's kind of stuck there. But again, I'm going to let my casters straight into this one. Let me make sure everybody's ready. Are you guys ready to go? We're going to head straight into the draft.
Ready?
Yep.
All right. You guys take it away. I'll be right here if you guys need anything.
All right, and here we go into draft. I'm Kevbo here with Daydream. Daydream, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It is too early in the morning for this, but I am here anyway. Now, we see Timo Band apparently in chat. That is, in fact, a Viego. So, PentaQ, doing classic thing. Followed by Wukong Band from the Eagles.
Yeah, absolutely not surprised to see the Wukong being banned out here, as it is such a strong champ in the meta. I expect, as we see Lee Sin banned. Wow, we're going very quick here with the bans. Lee Sin followed by a Cossack fan. Gonna want to take that one away from Stallions there. Lee Sin, of course, that ever-present flex right now in the meta, can be sent pretty much anywhere on the top side of the map. But we will wait and see what Stallions want to do with their last ban here.
Already rid of 4 AD Bruiser type champions. Remember, Timo is in fact Viego, so that's a Viego, Lee Sin, Kha'Zix, Wukong, Gon, and the Seraphine as the last ban. Bit of the odd one out there, but Seraphine is very annoying to play against. Also one of Killua Zoldix, one of his most top played champions, so not a surprise to see that gone.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised that we didn't see more supports banned out here in the first rotation, as it looks like Ezreal will be picked up here for Stallions. Ezreal super strong right now with that Divine Sunderer build. So not at all surprised to see that one picked up. Eagles here, though, going to pick up. Even is known for his Echo here, so going to pick that one up nice and quick for Given. I imagine they'll follow it up with an ADC of their own here in response.
Yeah, I mean, Ezreal first pick makes complete sense. That champion is very strong, but the Samira locked in going into the Ezreal, looking to get some early kill pressure down onto that champion. It's going to be tough for Samira, though. Once Ezreal starts to get his items, he will most likely be able to tech in a Frozen Heart against Samira's physical damage.
Yeah, but that wind wall is going to be super effective in the landing phase as well, going to block some of the damage output. But we'll wait and see. Stallions whether they decide to go towards a Enchanter here or some sort of engage for the support. I'd imagine that most likely you're going to look for probably an Enchanter here, with the Ezreal just going to want to buff him up even more, have him output even more damage, and it's actually a Swain. I believe that should be going support here.
Yes, Big Dong Bandit does have Swain in his match history, so most likely going to be a Swain support, although that technically could be flexed to mid lane. Very unlikely, though. You have to imagine Eagles will try and pick some sort of engaged support to lane alongside the Samira. So Ezreal Swain able to deal a lot of ranged poke damage. Obviously Samira can block some of it with the wind wall, but that only lasts for 0.75 seconds, and there's a whole rest of the lane phase to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if I'm Eagles here, I'm looking for something like a Nautilus or a Leona going to be able to lock down the Ezreal for an extended period of time here, but Stallion's going to get their last pick in the Hecarim. Kind of an interesting third pick here. Definitely has fallen out of the meta with the nerfs to that move speed item, which is escaping my name at the moment. But definitely an interesting pick for them here, as Hecarim has kind of been nerfed into the ground as of late.
Riot, does not like to have Hecarim out of meta for too long. It's been buffed 2 patches in a row.
They did it for me. They did it for me. They picked Blitzcrank. Yes. Praise. I told them, the players in draft, that if they picked Blitzcrank, I would go off like Captain Flowers, and here we are. They picked my Blitzcrank. Keppo, kind of the Blitzcrank one trick. Absolutely love to see that one coming in, but we'll wait and see if he can live up to the standards of the best Blitzcrank in Bronze or not. So, going to see a set ban here, though. I'd imagine both sides are going to just be banning out some strong solo lane picks. I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe a Diana ban coming in, as both mid laners do play that, or possibly a Sylas or a Syndra also have been played by both of our mid laners here. But definitely a lot of strong picks still up.
Interesting too that Eagles hovered the Gragas ban before locking in the set ban. Gragas, one of Myojin's most played top lane champions. Wonder if they're gonna ban that second, or they're gonna choose to leave it up.
So this Gwen ban is actually going, this Janna ban is actually going to be a Gwen ban here, as PentaQ does not currently have her on the list. So we're going to see a Gwen ban followed up by a Shen ban. Not at all surprised to see that one, but I imagine Stallions will be looking for the Gragas here. Or sorry, actually, yeah, it'll be Stallions will probably be looking for the Gragas here. Definitely his most played champion for hero here. But going to see that Darius as the last ban. Eagles, we'll see whether they want to leave counterpick to mid or top here.
See what they pick. Eagles, if they're feeling spicy, could pick the Gragas wave for themselves, but they don't. They choose the Jace, looking to bully some early matchups. That could be a top lane Jace, that could be a mid lane Jace. We'll have to see. It's very smart for them to pick a flex pick for the solo lanes.
And also, considering the Echo could also be a flex pick here, I highly doubt it though. Most likely will be Kevin taking that Echo, as it is one of the champs he is most proficient on, but Lissandra hovered here. Be kind of an interesting one. It would make sense to me a little bit, just because Kilowatt does play a lot of these engage, heavy damage output burst kind of champs. A lot of times Lissandra is picked up into those kind of matchups, and it will be an Ornn pick here, which is kind of odd considering that Jace has already been locked in, but it is going to be Urgot, the counter pick into that top side.
Urgot most likely going into the Ornn with the Jace Lissandra matchup mid. Seems that Stallions really want to tech into the late game power with this Ornn pickup. Ezreal late game, even like Swain late game as well. That could be a lot of damage coming out. We see on the side of Eagles a lot of early game power with the Jace, the Urgot, the Samira Blitzcrank kill lane, and with Echo also being able to gank early. It seems that they want to snowball this game out of Stallion's control. gonna be...
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see them play for Given in this early game, and maybe even see Given coming towards this mid lane with the Jason. Much early pressure as he does have. But overall, I have to honestly, I think I give the draft to the Eagles here. They'll be winning lanes pretty much across the map in the early game. Ornn won't really do anything on the top side, while mid lane and jungle and bot lane should be relatively even as long as they avoid the super high damage output things or blitzcrank hooks and stuff like that. But should be an interesting one. Definitely looking forward to what these teams are going to bring to the table.
One thing I want to make of note is that Stallions have shit ton of CC in their team comp. Between the Lissandra and the Ornn, you know, that's a lot of CC. Swain can even pull back off of ally CC. And so that's going to be a lot of room being given to this Ezreal to free hit and hopefully drag the fights out long enough that Eagles cannot simply burst them. Another thing I want to point out is that they locked in Ornn into a Samira, and Ornn ult can be pretty easily blocked by a Samira W. So if the Eagles are able to have quick hands, then you know this Ornn pick might have a bit of trouble navigating late game team fights.
Yeah, for sure. I was very surprised to see those picked up, and really even the Lissandra pickup I feel like is very strange here. But given more thought, I think that Hecarim and Lissandra and Ornn all have the ability to go in, but Swain, unless he pops his ult, is probably not going to go forward. He's probably just going to play for this Ezreal on the whereas on the other side, Eagles have very much an engaged comp. You're going to have Blitzcrank looking to pull people in, but you're also going to have the Echo and the Samira, and the Urgot even really kind of stepping forward looking for that damage in these team fights. So definitely going to have to look at what these ADCs can do, especially as we get later on into the game.
Yeah, Eagles with minus the Echo, very heavy physical damage profile, and that can, you know, start to bite you, you know, come late game when, you know, Swain can build Zanya's, Ezreal can build Frozen Heart, Hecarim can build tank, you know, Lissandra Zanya's, Ornn is Ornn, Ornn builds a lot of armor. So if this Echo does not get ahead and is not able to output the magic damage you needed to shred, you know, through these champions, then come late game fights and come, you know, sustained team fights, Stallions can just sort of face tank all the engage that Eagles are gonna be able to put through.
Yeah, definitely going to be a pretty interesting one as we finish the selecting and get ready players loading onto the Rift, choosing their loadouts. Definitely going to be an interesting one. I'm definitely looking for Eagles to look for early game pressure, whether that's latent aids on the Hecarim or even looking to get kills on this Lissandra in the early game with the Jace and Echo damage. But for now, I believe we are just going to kick it to a little bit of a break, and we will catch you all in the game.
Before we head to the break, though, make sure to go into Twitch chat, predict with channel points who is going to win, Stallions or Eagles.
Oh, okay. So, well, I guess for now, definitely go, like Daydream said, use your channel points and predict. Also, I'd love to hear from the chat your thoughts on the draft and where teams are going to win. Like I said, a couple of these picks for Stallions I'm very unsure of, especially the Lissandra and the Hecarim. Just because Hecarim, while he was super strong in the meta, quite recently got nerfed pretty much into the ground. And Lissandra, I don't think I've seen Lissandra played in a competitive match in almost 2 years. So definitely an interesting one there, especially into the Jace that's just wanting to try and poke around.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate, and actually, I'm sort of a big fan of what Stallions are doing with at least their game plan, because you know, it feels like it's a lot easier to execute on Stallion's comp than it is to execute on Eagles comp. Eagles are so reliant on these champions, this Jace, this Samira, this Urgot, getting ahead. And, you know, if Stallions just, for lack of a more professional term, if they just don't int and they drag the game out to late game, yes, Hecarim and Lissandra aren't, you know, conventionally strong solo queue meta champions, but, you know, they have their strengths. Hecarim, you know, an unstoppable dive into the backline. Lissandra just a bunch of CC, single target lockdown. You know, imagine Samira goes in for the ult just to get either, you know, knocked up by Ornn, pulled by Swain, ulted by Lissandra. It's a lot harder for Eagles to execute this comp, and I feel like they're really setting a high bar of gameplay for themselves, because otherwise Stallions can sort of just play it safe, play it cautiously. They can, you know, play these fights, you know, front to back and standard, and they'll most likely be able to pull out the victory if the fight goes long enough.
Yeah, I mean, that does make sense. I definitely think Eagles here may be playing with their egos a little bit more than a super smart draft. Now, I do very much appreciate them picking Blitzcrank in my but definitely I think you're right that it is an easier comp to execute. But I've played with Given in the past and Killua, and I fully expect them to win hard early in this matchup. But we'll see. Who knows? High Reef and Huar might be able to pop off here. I'd imagine that if they lose the mid jungle duo in the early game for Eagles, that it will be a very, very hard for them in the long term.
Yeah, I mean, I think now is when we're going to go into a bit of a break, you know, for loading screen to pop off. I mean, any more closing thoughts?
Not really. I just think going to be an interesting game, and excited to see what these teams can output.
Spectator delay, 6-0, and run.
To our game between the Stallions and the Eagles. Going to see what these teams can do on the Rift. Stallions looking for only their second win of the season. Definitely going to be a hard-fought game. Maybe we'll see some level 1s, but here we go.
Welcome to good old Summoners Rift gamers and gamerettes. So we see Eagles going in 5-man to this bush. They do not know that it is on a ward. Looks like that's going to stifle any level 1 shenanigans that are happening. No, just...
Is that what I think it is? Is that Rusted Blitzcrank?
That a rusty Blitzcrank? Wow,
I,
that is
I,
a
I,
powerful skin.
I could be wrong. It might just be a chroma, but if it is, definite pogs. I think. Well, what do we think about the skin game coming out here?
Hmm. I am not a fan of any of Samira's skins. I don't think they do the character justice. You know, I'm always a fan of base Samira, so a little bit disappointing. We got High Noon Urgot. Now that's a pretty cool skin. You know, skins don't get wins. Good gameplay does, so you know, there's only really so much that we can say about the skins. To get into laning phase, we have both junglers starting on the red side, looking like they're not going to meet each other at the 315 Scuttle Crab. So maybe Echo starting on the top side could look for an early-ish gank bot as he clears down that way. As we look at runes and masteries, you know, nothing too out of the ordinary. You know, Jace with the phase rush looking to really be strong in the skirmishes. It's Blitzcrank that 0 for 1 on hooks. You know, you really hate to see that one, but you know, sometimes you can't hit them all.
Killua
Killua's
going
ulting.
for a good trade there for Killua. Definitely going to be interesting. I do want to point out that Hecarim went from red to his Raptors and then is probably going to full clear topside, whereas Echo, skipping his Raptors, going to go straight onto that front side clear.
Yeah, that again could be indicative of a gank as Hero 39 takes a great trade onto Myojin's Ornn. Ezreal on the bot side buffers the Blitzcrank hook. That is one of the strengths of Ezreal, is that he is pretty safe into these type of engaged supports. He can use his E to buffer stuff like Thresh Hook, Blitzcrank Hook, Nautilus Hook. Swain gets the Electrocute proc onto Samira, and it's looking like the bot lane's fairly even so far. Both laners level 2, as Echo might head down for a gank, but he's spotted on a ward. Very good early ward by the bot lane. But looks like he's still going for it. Blitzcrank hooks a minion. That is not going to be enough. Parallel Convergence goes down, stuns nobody. As looks like Devil's Alter Ego and Big Dog Bandit are just about to walk out. And, you know, the play dissipates. Even Diff not able to find a kill or really much of advantage onto the bot side. Looks like he's just going to take bot crab as Hecarim, you know, going to concede that and go for top crab for himself.
Yeah, and Hecarim is going to be slightly ahead in the experience, going to be taking that top scuttle, going to be one camp up as well. But right now, we're probably just going to see everyone on the map kind of just running out. But we might see a little bit of a fight here in the mid lane, both junglers hovering.
See what is going to happen. You know, this mid lane very volatile with the Jace matchup. As we see in bot lane, Samira drops the heal. Ignite goes down onto Ezreal, but that's going to be first blood. Ezreal onto Samira. Misses W, looking to see if they can pick up the kill on the Blitzcrank, but it looks like he's just going to be able to walk out. Samira dies with flash up. You know, very well played by Devil's Alter Ego, able to turn what should be a winning matchup for Samira Blitzcrank into first blood for himself.
Yeah, definitely well played, and the bot side is going to get the level advantage and probably a bit of a CS advantage, going to look to crash this wave and back, I'd imagine.
Once you back on Ezreal, you know, that's an opportunity to pick up the tier, but we might hold on that. Looks like even Diff looking for something mid lane, but Lissandra's just going to back up. He can't find a gank, couldn't find one in the bot lane, and looks like he's just going to have to move to another part of the jungle to try and get something done. Yeah, but as I was saying, this is very big for the Ezreal. Picks up the Sheen and the tier. That's going to make this laning pace even more oppressive. Samira came back with boots and a longsword, so it isn't all over, but Hero 39 hits the flip onto Myojin and just gets another great trade. Able to counterpick the Urgot into the Ornn, so about to crash this wave as well. So looks like, at least on the top side, things are going very great for the Eagles.
Yeah, but Myojin is actually going to be up in CS here, which is very surprising with this counter matchup of the Ornn into the Urgot. Going to have, it looks like about a 5 minion lead, but first drag is coming up. It is an Ocean Drag. Going to be interesting to see when teams look to set this one up, even with his second clear on the bot side, going to clear bot to top again, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, even going bot to top, that means, if, High Reef on this Hecarim wants to look for a play bot side, if they manage to pull something off, that could be very easy early dragon. But it looks like he's just going to be on his Krugs right now. Echo actually walking into the river, dropping his control ward, looking for something mid. Oh, flashes away! Myojin dodges
Myojin.
Born ulti.
Yeah, good flash by Myojin. Probably would have died there had the Urgot ult connected. But Urgot going to win out the trade and recall. However, as the lane resets on top side, it looks like Orin will still be up on the CS. So definitely playing well for him on that top side.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned how it was a counter matchup, but if Myojin is able to, survive through the laning phase, that Ornn pick in team fights is most likely going to be a lot more valuable. Blitzcrank Hook goes down, Samira gets the passive auto attack, Ezreal E is too late to buffer, but he still does get the E off, there's not going to be any threat of a kill. Blitzcrank is a level down. We see Given in the bush though, possibly looking for something, hoping Stallion spot lane will get a bit too overeager. Kilo Zoldyck also going down. Echo shows himself, flashes away by Swain, and it looks like, yeah, there's not going to be much the Eagles can do in the spot lane.
I think Anywho showed himself just a little bit too early on that Blitzcrank and allowed them to back up. I don't think they had vision on him otherwise. Killua, though, going to make it back for most of those minions in the mid wing, and definitely doing well for himself on that front.
Yeah, I mean, I like to see that the Eagles, even if it's not really succeeding yet, that they're trying to make these plays, because that's what their comp needs to do. Blitzcrank Hook goes wide, and, they're just not going to be able to find anything in the spot lane. Ezreal Swain deceptively safe lane, as they're just going to be able to start poking out the Samira and the Blitzcrank, as the wave starts to slow push into red team's tower. See, Myojin,
yeah, definitely. Sorry.
Myojin gets a good trade onto Hero. This Ornn is starting to bite back, but we see Given Diff in the top lane pinging onto the Ornn. Let's see if anything's going to happen. Parallel Convergence does not hit the stun, throws the Time Winder out. Ornn hits the Brittle proc, pops the ulti. They're looking to burst him down. Hecarim is here, though, going on to Hero. Hecarim will be able to finish the kill onto Hero 39. Echo Chrono Breaks able to get the kill with the help kill of Zoldyck, and it looks like Lissandra's here too. This is a whole party, but Kilo Zoldyck flashes forward, gets the kill onto the Hecarim, who are able to finish off Given Diff with the Frozen Tomb. But it looks like Kilo Zoldyck is just going to be able to pick him up. That is a triple kill for the Jace, and that is not what blue team wants to see.
Yeah, both mid laners spending their TP there. Given stayed alive for so long in that fight. Well done by him, but Killua getting up there on this Jace, such a powerful early champ, and able to pick up 3 for himself, going to be, oh, a good hook though from the Blitzcrank there.
Yeah, good hook from the Blitzcrank, but it just looks like Big Dog Bandit's gonna be able to walk it out, not able to get the tower aggro onto Big Dog Bandit in the bot lane, so there's not gonna be any real kill pressure there, although it did look a bit dicey for the Stallions.
I have to say, I'm very surprised that Anywho is looking for so much onto the Ezreal, especially when he has that chrono or that E to get him away. Swain is just an easier target to hook to begin with because he's a little bit bigger of a size character, and the fact that he doesn't have an escape tool. I would imagine that it would be way easier for them to just go onto him.
Kilo Zoldyck getting a good trade onto Huar's Lissandra. I mean, once Jace gets 3 kills, that lane sort of becomes doomed. Has the Lucidity Boots, has the Serrated Dirk, has the Vamp Scepter, looking to get the clips, looking to get the kill. Rooted under tower, Kilo Zoldyck is going to decline the tower dive, and it's just going to force Huar to recall. I mean, no kill picked up, but, Kilo Zoldyck sort of flexing his muscles right now.
Oh, and Hero with the flip.
Ultimate
the
goes
ult
down
up-
onto Myojin.
Yep.
Oh, that is the threshold and solo kill by Hero 39. That frees up the rest of the team to go for this Ocean Dragon. Stallions do have vision, but it's just going to be smited away. No contest offered by Stallions as the Eagles, sort of dominating across the map right now with about not that much of a gold lead, but you can see how they're playing the champions, using their strengths to assert pressure and take objectives.
Yeah.
You see even Diff on the minimap in the mid lane, pinging onto the Lissandra. Parallel conversion doesn't hit the stun, and the Glacial Path, Huar makes a nice escape. No kill goes down. Their Stallions are sort of playing with fire as the Eagles keep, going for ganks, going for kills, and just seems to be out of reach.
Even looking for a little bit of an invade here on the top side, but Hecarim pinging onto this Rift Herald definitely has the prio on top, but lacking the prio in mid, he could get just caught out here, and it looks like he will.
Yep, even Diff hits the Time Winder. Will he proc the passive? Yes, with the phase dive, but Hecarim is a very, very fast horse, and he will just be able to run out. Doesn't get the Rift Herald, but does not lose his life. That's really about the best High Reef can ask for on this Hecarim.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
and while they're
even
down,
Diff pinging onto the Rift Herald. Sorry, I interrupted you there.
I was just going to point out that Stallions are doing a phenomenal job right now of CSing, considering how much pressure that Eagles are putting on them in this landing phase for kills. Still able to win out on the CS pretty much everywhere on the map except for in mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, does make sense. Oh, Blitzcrank hook goes down onto Swain. Samira keeps the knockup, but High Reef with the Hecarim, that is a very, very mad horse. Goes onto the Blitzcrank. Samira heal. Looks like Blitzcrank doesn't be able to escape. Samira dashes in, hits the old Hero 39 TPs. Samira goes down first, though, to the Swain ulti, but Hero and Killua come in to clean everything up. That, at the end of the day, is going to be a 3-for-1 play in the bot side, as Killua and Hero coming down to the bot lane, but we see a fight in the mid lane. Huar ults himself. It's just going to be a bit scrappy as Given Diff looks like he's going to be able to walk away. Both ults spurned by the mid laner and the jungler. But again, the Eagles are making these proactive plays, and even if not all of them are hitting, enough of them are hitting that we now have a 1.5k gold lead on our hands.
Yeah, absolutely. And the solo laners from Eagles doing everything there, making sure that they're in the bot lane for that fight. Samira just barely gets enough to get that S rank, but goes down very quickly. However, Killua and Hero being there just finish up that. Really, it was the solo lanes counter ganking there that allowed Eagles to have such a good trade in that bot lane.
Yeah. And it really shows the trust that Eagles have. Will and Alchemist on the Samira going in with the ultimate, probably realizing that he's not going to survive, but trading his life for 3 kills is definitely a trade that you would want to take.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to point out there, Blitzcrank finally going after the Swain there allowed them to separate him enough from the ADC to do a little bit of damage to him before the team fight even started, which was what I was trying to say earlier, as he maybe looked for something a little bit cheeky here, but just going to lay a ward.
Yep, it's, I want to see what the Eagles can do with this map pressure that they certainly have with 4 kills on a Jace, 3 kills on the Urgot. These champions require kills to snowball, and they have succeeded in that part of their win condition.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to see them at this point as the next drag being Mountain will come up in just over 50 seconds. I just love to see them set up and play out this game for a little bit, get some items, play for the neutral objectives. You're going to win team fights anyways, as long as you don't get caught out beforehand. You have set up with a Blitzcrank. It's going to be way easier if you get to the objectives first. I'd say just keep snowballing with these dragons, as Blitzcrank looking for something just barely misses there in the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard for this Blitzcrank to be able to land hooks on a lot of these champions. You know, especially with the Lissandra and with the Ezreal having mobility built into their kit, they don't need to burn summoner spells to avoid the Blitzcrank hooks.
And they're doing exactly what I said, trying to set up for this neutral objective, but they're losing the push in the bot lane, which is going to allow Stallions to step into this river a little bit better. But the vision setup is pretty good. Just missing that one ward that you would like to see into Pixel Brush towards mid lane. But Hero getting a ton of damage on this top side. I imagine he can probably push this next one in and then walk to drag if he wants to. Or it looks like Stallions are actually just going to get this one up.
Yeah, I mean, High Reef in the bot lane on a ward. You know, if Hecarim's just vibing in the bot lane, that frees up, you know, Echo to just do this dragon. That is second Drake going down in the favor of Eagles, you know. Infernal Soul too, so having an Infernal Soul on a Jace, on an Urgot, on pretty much all of these champions is going to be a very dangerous win con that the Eagles will definitely want to exploit.
Yeah, going to knock down this tier 1 in the mid lane. And should, it looks like, get another charge off on the drag. If they stick around, they might be able to take this tier 2 as well.
Yeah, not much the Stallions can do, just trying to answer back in the bot lane, get some gold onto this Ezreal, you know, trying to take their bottom tier 1, but Rift Herald might be able to get a third charge. No, smited by High Reef, but he has to ult out as he almost goes down to save the inhib turret from that Rift Herald.
Yeah, High Reef so lucky there. Was going to try and stop the third charge, but almost dies for it there. And absolutely super far ahead here for Eagles, going to be at a 3k gold lead now. And that mid lane tower, the tier 2, even going to open up the map even more, allow them to exert even more pressure on these side lanes.
Yeah, I mean, that is going to be very dangerous now that both mid towers went down. You know, Eagles can put so much pressure on the map right now, you know. Like, I keep emphasizing that this Jace, this Urgot, this Echo, this Samira, they want to fight, they want to scrap. And now with no mid turrets, they have pretty much free reign over, you know, maybe a coordinated invade into the enemy jungle, you know, maybe trying to put High Reef on the Hecarim, you know, behind in farm. Currently, High Reef has about a 20 CS lead, but, you know, if the Eagles choose to pressure the jungle, you know, that could change very, very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Ezreal going to use his ult there just to clear out the wave a little bit. Killua, though, does have to be careful on the side lane. Hero as well in the top side. Going to have to be very careful that they don't get ganked by the Hecarim. But for now, with Eagles, you're kind of just playing. I imagine they're going to look for the second Rift Herald here soon. And then they should be looking for that Infernal Soul point here in 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, if the Eagles are able to get this dragon, that puts a lot of pressure onto the Stallions. And before the game, I talked about how the Stallions just want to, you know, vibe, survive, get to these item spikes, get to these, you know, late game, long, drawn out fights. You can't do that if the Eagles can threaten Infernal Soul. Because no matter how much tank stats you buy, you're not going to be able to outpace this Jace and outpace this Urgot, especially when they have the firepower of Infernal Soul on their side.
Yeah, also with this tier 1 going down, allowing them to get that deep warding, going to give Blitzcrank a lot more opportunities to get in and look for hooks over walls or hooks while going for these jungle camps. Maybe catching their opponents out in the jungle. But for now, I think Stallions really, they need to look for something cheeky, maybe an objective trade on different sides of the map. They're looking, however, to push into this top side. But just walking over so many wards, it's not hard for Eagles to know they can just back up pretty easily there. Jace getting free push in the bot side.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the Eagles trying to siege this top inner turret, but they can choose not to take the fight if they don't want to. They are the ones in control. They are the ones who can look for these opportunities and take the fight on their terms. Obviously, if someone steps too far, the Stallions might be able to capitalize, but that requires the Eagles to make a mistake, and the Eagles have not been making many mistakes this game.
Yeah, and reset's going to come out across the board for Eagles here. And then I'd imagine they're going to be rushing straight to this Infernal Soul point. They should have been there probably about a minute ago and then gotten the recalls, but be able to get back and get some wards to set up for this drag, even though it's going to be a little bit of a late setup from them. But should, I'd imagine, take this one pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, dragons spawning soon. It looks like, the Stallions do not want to give this up quietly. Giving Eagles Soul Point for free would be pretty int, who are picking up the turret on the bot lane, but that might be a bit too far. Protobelt phase dive in. Who has no E, ults himself to try and stall, but Give and Diff and Hero 39 are going to be able to pick this one up fairly handedly. Yes, you get the bot turret, but that puts the Stallions, in a really bad spot for this dragon fight.
Yeah, you really should just not be going for this one. Going to be trying to engage with the Ornal, but
yeah, it's
up by the Samira. I mean, and now they have no way to engage onto this dragon. It's going to be so free. As long as Given doesn't int his smite, I'd imagine that this one will go over fairly quickly.
Shot barrage coming down. That is not going to secure it. Stallions doing a bit of a walk of shame back into the mid lane to try and at least get the push there. That is Soul Point for the Eagles. Very in control of this game. Myojin looking for the Ornn ult there, but Samira was released later than Ornn. More of a 200-year champion, just blocks that Ornn ulti and, really denies Stallions any chance to go for a miracle play.
Yeah, and I don't know if they even should have been going for it, considering that Lissandra was already dead. Eagles doing a very good job with their vision control, had known where the rest of the Stallions team was, so knowing that they could go onto that Lissandra pretty easily.
Yeah, looks like Hero 39 takes the Blast Cone away from the big tanky Ornn, but, there's not much Stallions can do. Anywho, taking this control ward, I believe that is the last of the Stallions' forward vision. If we look at the minimap, it is littered with red wards just in the jungle.
Looks like there's one in the bottom of the map there. I do not see another ward besides the Scuttlecraft. 4 Stallions here need to get control of their own jungle before they can really do anything.
Yeah, High Reef and Big Dong Bandit on, a mission to try and sweep away some wards, but, Sweeper's expired. Congrats, you got the Raptors bush. You got the bush across from the red buff, but that is not going to be enough to win you the game. That is just really cannot be classified as much more other than damage control.
Yeah, absolutely, and I want to give massive credit to Given thus far with the vision control. Has almost as much or as high of a vision score as the support for his team right now. So Given definitely doing some work with that vision control. But it looks like they are going to start gesturing towards this Baron, but maybe a fight on the bot lane. Blitzcrank looking for something cheeky, but it doesn't look like he'll find anything. Stallions finally able to get back out onto the map, get some pressure with the vision around this Baron, enough to the point that the Eagles have to back off just a little bit, but I'd imagine that this will be going down very soon.
Yeah, I doubt this moment of control for Stallion is going to last too long. Given Diff, Hero 39, and the bot lane all near this Baron. Given Diff chooses to just get the ward in the Pixel Brush and then back, I guess, afraid of overextending to try and pick off some of these control wards. But that gives, the Stallions a moment of respite, I guess is the best way to phrase it.
Yeah, absolutely. But I imagine for now we're just going to see some posturing from both teams around the Baron. but we'll have to wait and see if anyone can get a pick before starting that. I don't think you want to be fighting the Baron and team at this point. Eagles maybe could, but still I'd imagine you want to look for a pick before you go over to the Baron.
Yeah, I mean, in good news for the Stallions, Ornn has reached level 14, able to give Ezreal the first Ornn upgrade, turning from the Divine Sunderer to the aptly named Deicide. Really banking on this Ezreal to make a miracle run in the fights. He has a fully stacked tier, does not have that Mirror Mana upgraded. Hopefully, before a fight breaks out, Devil's Alter Ego will be able to pick up that Mirror Mana, because Stallions are going to need him to pull off some massive damage in whatever team fight comes next if they want to be able to win this game.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's just side lane diff at this point right now. For the Eagles, getting that pressure in the 1-3-1, even able to just run around and clear his own camps and some of his opponent's camps, while the solo laners push the sides and the bot lane push the mid lane.
I mean, Eagles are just, they have free reign to get a lot on the map, but to their credit, the Stallions are doing a decent job of keeping up. Farm leads for the Stallions in the top lane, in the jungle. Farms about even in the bot lane. Woven Alchemist pulling a bit ahead, maybe a wave or two. And obviously Kilo Zoldyck on the Jace is currently, destroying the Lissandra in the farm. Makes sense when you get 3 early kills like that, but they're holding on. They're, not willing to just roll over and die this game. They know that their game plan is to scale, and they are just doing their best to do as much damage control as they can.
If Eagles win this team fight, though, I'd imagine the game is just going to be over at that point. With enough of a gold lead and the Infernal Soul, it's going to be so hard for them. But do have priority, it looks. It looks like it will kind of just be posturing. We'll see who can get there first as a good shockwave or shock blast comes out from Killua.
Both teams have fairly decent poke. Jace with his EQ, Ezreal with his Mystic shots, but the line of scrimmage has sort of been drawn. Both teams know that this dragon is going to spell a big change in the rest of the game. Parallel Convergence goes down. No one's going to be stunned up yet. Shirelia's goes down. Ezreal is able to eat away from Blitzcrank Hook. It looks like Huar goes down first. Urgot ult misses. Chrono Break as nobody on the Eagles is going to die as Samira comes through. Ulti flash quadra kill, looking like they're going to hand off the kill. No! Hero 39, the absolute scumbag, takes the pentakill from his AD carry. But I doubt he's too mad about that, as the Eagles managed to pick up the Infernal Soul, looking to head straight to the Baron. I mean,
I am seeing a little bit of remorse from Hero in the chat there, but very well executed. Kind of a scrappy fight, honestly, even though Eagles won it super hard. It was kind of all over the place, but able to kind of just smack them with their wallets in the end, as they will get Infernal Soul and the Baron.
Yeah, you have to imagine that the chances for Stallions to win this game is slowly dripping lower and lower. Eagles correctly identifying that, Dragon Soul could be used to force the fight, picking up the early Drakes, the early Ocean, the early Mountain, just to set up for this fight at 29 minutes into the game. Stallions want to scale, but you cannot afford to scale when the enemy team just can pick up Infernal Soul.
Yeah, and I'm honestly very surprised that it went the way it did. No one picked up a dragon until 11 minutes into the game, but after that, Eagles just stacking them like crazy.
Yeah, I imagine the early pressure that was, granted to them by Killua's, at the time 3-kill Jace allowed them to snowball, but you see, Hero 39, Hecarim is behind him. Maybe he might be a little too far forward. Drops the ulti, Hecarim blast cones over the wall, pushes him back. Hero 39 getting dangerously low, flashes over the wall though. Is he going to be able to get out? Looking to trade back onto Myoji, misses the ult. You can't be doing that. Although he does buffer the E, but that's not going to be enough. Picks up flag, hooked by NEQ on the Blitzcrank, trades the kill. Big Dong Bandit on the Swain. You cannot walk into 3 champions as a very squishy Swain. 2 for 1. Looked a bit dicey at the beginning, but Hero 39 able to keep his wits and, you know, grant Eagles this, I guess, mini skirmish victory. Looks like they're going to be pushing in, looking to do some property damage with this Baron, with this Infernal Soul.
Yeah, and it looks like they should pick up at least one inhibitor, if not both the mid and the top inhibitor, able to just knock that one down and then rotate over to this other inhibitor. And there's not really anything that they can do. Kind of just, oh, Lysandra might go in. A good stun on
ultimate. Samira goes down. That is way too far forward, Wolven Alchemist. Goes down to the Ezreal too. Crucial to pick up that shutdown, but there looks like they're not done. Shock blast into the face. Big Dom Bandit on the Swain is just dead. Chrono break back, even gets out to safety. Looks like Hero wants this Ornn. Hero wants to dive in. Tanking tower like nobody's business, but nobody's taking Ezreal. I changed my mind. Hero 39 actually able to get some big DPS, but Devil's Alter Ego able to pick up the Blitzcrank, who are with the CC. Picks up Hero. Even Dip goes down, and that is a bad overextension. No Samira to block this Ornn. Killua flashes into it. Hecarim goes in. Ornn goes in, and team fight victory for the Stallions.
Well, I don't think that that's going to be enough of a comeback for Stallions here, but definitely a pretty hard throw from Eagles there. A huge overextension from them. But I don't think Stallions can really get anything in the way of neutral objectives off the back of that. Still, though, not what you want to see from Eagles. Maybe a little bit more clean in the future, you would hope.
Yeah, Wolven Alchemist just no business being that far into the base without the rest of his team. Killua Zoldyck was kind of in range. Maybe you could argue that, but you know, getting picked off at the start of the fight, there's no Samira W anymore. You know, who are on the respawn, able to come back, able to get the CC down. And, you know, if you're the Stallions, that is pretty much what you needed at that moment. Anything else, and the game is pretty much over. But we can see, if we take a minute to look at the items, Ezreal with the Deicide, with the Executioner's Calling, with the Tap Eyes, the Mirror Mana, and the Frozen Heart. He is going to have to put the Stallions on his back and start carrying some team fights.
Yeah, absolutely. Ezreal kind of Stallion's only real damage threat at this point in the game. Hecarim maybe can get onto the backside a little bit, but he's building tank, so he's not going to do too much. So they're really riding on this Ezreal to output an insane amount of damage if they want to win this.
Yeah, and I mean, Ezreal doing very good in the damage department, but you have to look at the CC coming out from Lysandra in that last fight.
Yeah.
You know, who are, you know, Ornn upgraded the Everfrost into the Eternal Winter. You know, these Ornn items coming through, that's a lot of stats, you know. And stats is sort of what you need to contest with something as dangerous as an Infernal Soul. It looks like Hosko down onto Huar! You're silenced, you're dead! You cannot be getting hit by those! And the Eagles, anywho, able to snipe the Lysandra. Just as, and another hook coming down onto Myojin. He is an Ornn, he is going to be able to get out, but that's just adding insult to injury. This Blitzcrank absolutely popping off. Killua Zoldyck taking a good trade onto High Reeves Hecarim in the bottom lane, and it looks like their Eagles are just going to want to siege this. Although, wave clear is coming down for the Stallions. They're able to stall it out for a bit. Who are on the Lysandra coming up in 20 seconds. Maybe they'll be able to mount some sort of defense, but you know, the Eagles are not willing to, you know, let them just free farm without going for some sort of a fight.
Yeah, if Blitzcrank hits a hook onto anyone that's not named Ornn, they're kind of just dead.
Yeah, but it looks like they don't want to siege anymore. Hero probably shouldn't have proc that blast cone with his W, but Elder Dragon being started up by Give and Diff, I mean, is going to take a miracle.
Yeah.
Killua Zoldyck misses the shock blast, but gets the Q onto Devil's Alter Ego. The E is down, flashes away. High Reef on the Hecarim. Are they going to be able to deal with the Ornn? Big Dog Bandit goes down. High Reef is taken down by Hero 39. Flashes forward, not able to catch the Ezreal, but That's gonna be enough. Where are you? You TP'd into the backline, but in the end, you were the one who died. 3 kills for nothing. Baiting the Elder Dragon, the Eagles are able to take a nice teamfight win. And now there's nothing much Stallions can do to stop this Elder Dragon. They're only gonna send 2 flash. Hook not gonna land. That was mighty close. Oral goes down. Myojin flashes. Samira dodges the E. Ezreal arcane chips away. Looks like the Eagles are gonna try and burn down the Ornn. They managed to do it. Devil's alter ego unable to pick up any kills. Eat forward gets the Blitzcrank, but a Blitzcrank for an Elder Dragon is not the trade you want to see as the Shock Blast finishes off Devil's alter ego with the Elder Dragon execute.
Yeah, and Killua should be able to take this tower himself. No, Hecarim coming up.
Reef going in, but isn't going to be enough. Swain goes down. Hecarim goes down. You can't do anything against this team with the Elder Dragon. Second
And
inhib
Infernal
of the
Soul
game. Going down. Yes, Infernal Soul. A lot of firepower. 039 manages to take down the top inhibitor as well for the second time this game. Only structure left that isn't a Nexus turret is this mid lane inhibitor tower and the corresponding inhibitor. But it looks like Eagles want to change that with the Elder, with the Infernal Soul, with the Cannon Wave going to destroy this tower, destroy this inhibitor. And Stallions are sort of in shambles. You know, I see what can be like, maybe like flashes of a comeback, but it is too little, too late.
At this point, I think that Eagles just hit them in the face with their wallets every time they step up. I mean, they're up by over 10k at this point in the game. Have every single possible buff you could want, and you hit them at all, they kind of just die immediately. With this burst from the Elder Drag and the Infernal Soul.
Yeah, I mean, Stallions are just can't do anything against it. We saw Huar maybe go for a TP flank, you know, try and pull off something cheeky, but that didn't end too well for him. Killua Zoldyck going for a Shock Blast onto Devil's alter ego. That, you know, becomes very dangerous with Infernal Soul, with Elder. Just the amount of DPS that these champions offer when ahead is just far too much.
Yeah, and pretty much everyone on the side of Eagles is also full build at this point in the game. Like, they're already at the strongest point they could possibly be in the game, pretty much. Unless you're gonna sell your control wards. So I'd imagine they're just going to push this one in and end the game.
Eagles just walking into Stallion's face like they own it. Like, even these like ranged abilities, the time under Shock Blast. Oh, that's a dead Swain. That's a soon-to-be dead Lissandra. That's a dead Ezreal. Everyone's dead. You know, Stallions just can't get anything. You know, Myojin, the last one alive, not for long. Clean ace to finish off the game. 11-30. The Eagles absolutely dominate the Stallions, handing them double-digit losses. As, you know, it's kind of a stomp.
Yeah, at the end of the game, like I was saying, they kind of just hit them in the face with their wallet, said, "Here, hold this for me." Definitely a little bit of maybe some mixed execution from Eagles in the early game, but overall a very, very strong showing from them as they will move to 7-4. So looking pretty strong. Stallions still going to be sitting there at the bottom of the table, going to be moving to 1-10, going to be looking to and really needing to pick up some wins as they move into the next couple. Yeah, and like Spoongo has just mentioned in my ear, remember to vote for your player of the game. Daydream, who do you think is deserving in this case?
That is tough. I would like to direct chat's attention to the damage charts. I feel like that should shine some light on strong performers, but that's not to say that this wasn't a strong performance by every single member of the team. Blitzcrank, you know, hitting some clutch hooks, especially onto Lissandra at the end of the game. Hero 39 able to put out some clutch 1v2s. Samira, she did some cool stuff too, getting a quadra kill at one of the dragon fights. I mean, it's a tough ask. Vote with your heart, follow your dreams. You know, there's no real wrong answer here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you could give it to a couple people, but I definitely think for me, I would be giving it to Killua here. Kind of just all over the map. Like you see, has some of the biggest damage in the game easily. But on top of that, his plays with his TPs, I think, were very clutch in the early game, able to get out onto those side lanes and help his team out when they were getting ganked, or in some cases, TPing to gank the team. So definitely very strong showing for all here. Overall, I think definitely, like I said, a super strong showing from Eagles. Um, Exciting to see if maybe they can even move up in the standings a little bit more. I'm not exactly sure who they play in their second game of the day, but looking to challenge for that top of the leaderboard. Stallions, though, still struggling just a little bit, but I imagine with some more practice, they can get things back on track and maybe pick up and be some spoilers in the later stages of our season here.
All right, gamers, thank you for joining us for the first game of the day. We can go to a break now. Make sure to get some water, stay hydrated, and join us back as we watch the Wolves versus the Marauders after the break.
All right, everybody, all you gamers joining us in chat and on the Legends stream. I'm Gundo once again, and I'm here to announce your player of the game for that banger of a game with the Stallions versus the Eagles. We did have about a 38-40 minute banger. It was pretty insane to see how long it went. And Kilva Zoldyck is going to be taking away your MVP, your POG, your player of the game, with a KDA of 9, 1, and 13, popping off on the Jace pick, absolutely dominating that mid lane for sure. And it was nice to see him do that much damage on the champion, right? Because Jace is kind of one of those picks where if you're not doing your damage, you're not playing it right. So it's good to see Killua popping off on the champion. No surprise to me that he was able to dominate the Lissandra in the lane. And a good look out of the Eagles going into the later stages of the LAS draft. Just the last few weeks until we are into it. So, yeah, playoffs is right around the corner, and with Eagles securing themselves another win against the Stallions over here, who were in last place going into this one, or second to last place, I believe, near the bottom of the table. It will just allow them to secure themselves a better position. We're sitting at 6-4. Now we'll move up to 7-4 for the Eagles. So playing pretty good in that last game, and I think they had very, very comfortable champions that they were able to get out for themselves. So no surprises to me, and I'm excited to see what they can do in the future. They were breaking it down in the game. We saw those last few fights of the game. We saw one really nice fight by the Stallions where they were able to turn it around with the help of the poke from the Ezreal and Ornn Engage, as well as a Hecarim standing in front of them. But after that, it was no real chance. And after that Elder Dragon, where they got kind of railed around that Elder Dragon, there was no real chance for them to come back in that one. So Eagles will move up while the Stallions will stay at the bottom there. So Eagles looking good going into the last few weeks of draft and heading into playoffs. And the Stallions, with another loss here, are looking real grim into the last few weeks. So maybe they can bounce back. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, we are going to be waiting to get into the second game, waiting for the captains of both teams to start up that lobby. But again, it was interesting to see what they could do in that last game. And, Killua Zoldyck did end up taking away your player of the game. This is a guy we saw last split who also played very, very well. And I see you giggle there in chat saying you got 12K points from that game. Nice voting there from you, man. But again, Killua absolutely popping off on the Jace. You saw him constantly shooting in those accelerated shock blasts, doing that extra bit of damage that his team needed, as well as just kind of setting up around in the side lanes, not letting anybody really poke him out. And I believe it was near the bot lane inhibitor we saw him kind of just pushing it straight in there, not letting anybody get past him over there on that bot side. And it was just good to see out of this guy playing one of these 80 champions once again. 80 mid laners here for his team, and he made it look easy. Credit does need to come out for the rest of the members of the Eagles who played it well in that game as well, right? So we saw, that Quadrico coming out from Wolven around that 30-minute mark, as well as everybody else doing a good job in that one. But again, it should be real good for these last few weeks of play as we're getting into the end of it, to see what the higher stake teams can do in these games, because right now we're seeing a whole lot of good play coming out for these guys, and I really want to see what the future is going to hold for these guys, because it sure is exciting here in the draft. So as we're loading up in here, going to be the next game of the day is going to end up being the Wolves versus the Marauders over here. Marauders currently sitting in second place in Pool A here with 8-2. I'm not sure of their last game if they won it or not, but coming into the day they were 8-2. The Wolves as well here sitting at 5-5 to start the day in that fourth place spot, tied with the Grizzlies. So definitely looking for a win to get it here. But we'll have to see what they can do. As I'm now learning, Hornets lost their game today. The Marauders looking real good, looking for a good chance to contest for that top spot in the group. But I'm just going to let my casters jump in the call as well. Maybe they can break down this game a little bit as we start to get into the draft. So I'm going to let you guys in here. Go ahead and talk about what you guys think of this upcoming match, the Marauders versus the Wolves, as we're all getting set up and everything.
Yeah, definitely going to be an interesting one. Both of these teams right now going to be contesting for some of the top spots in the group. As we found out, Marauders currently tied for first at the moment with the Hornets, but Wolves also tied for fourth coming into the day. Only 2 games behind. The Marauders can be contesting for some of those upper bracket spots. Definitely going to be some interesting things. We'll see if um, Angrotis can get his kindred again. Of course, had a stellar performance last week, I believe, on that champ. Definitely something that he enjoys playing. But definitely could see some interesting things being pulled out here for both teams.
Oh boy, he dropped 28 kills on Kindred last week. I want to see that again. I want to see that be picked if the Wolves don't have the foresight to ban it.
All right, guys, and with that being said, we are straight into the draft here. It is going to be the Marauders with the Wolves, and you guys take it away. We are straight into the PentaQ draft.
Alright. First off, we see that the Amumu ban is a Gwen ban. Gwen, very strong champion, has scissors. Scissors are good at cutting things. Things just have to be champions' health bars. Very good ban. As the Marauders' first ban, Akali, also very strong champion. Obviously needs very good pilot to be able to bring out that champion's full potential, but still right now on the patch, Akali and competitive scene, a lot of popularity.
Yeah, definitely had to be careful with that Amumu. Gonna have to ban it in case, if they picked it and, Marauders picked Malphite, they might be losing that one. But definitely going to be interesting here. With, again, still in the draft, going to be seeing a lot of focus in the early bans on solo laners and jungle here in the case of Marauders. But we'll have to wait and see what they do decide for their final ban. I'm definitely surprised we're not seeing more supports and ADCs banned out in this early game, as things like Varus and Ezreal and Senna Kench are super, super strong.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of high prio picks in the bot lane. Maybe the idea is that if you leave all of them up, you are probably going to get a good one.
Yeah, fair enough. And we see the Kindred ban, kind of not a surprise there for Wolves. Don't want to see that one on the other side. Marauders, though, left with this Wukong going to be super, super strong.
Yeah, Marauders, Axrid does play a lot of Wukong. Wukong can abuse the Divine Sunderer. Wukong is the Monkey King, very strong, big staff, big damage. I really like that first pick for Marauders.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, playing against Uguay, maybe he'll walk in the top lane to say monkey and walk away. But right now, going to be interested to see. It looks like that Ezreal will be picked up. I was going to say I wouldn't be surprised to see bot lanes picked up. I would imagine Wolves going to be getting probably both their bot laners here if I'm them, but might also see the jungle picked up. Rumble, of course, is up. That is a very strong pick at the moment, but might be seeing something a little bit different here.
I mean, we saw the Ezreal last game, did not win, but it was definitely, the shining star for the Stallions, so it's a very strong champion. Especially paired with support like the Braum. Mystic Shot can trigger Braum's passive, so able to get stuns off.
Yeah, and that Braum going to offer a lot of safety. Even just seeing the Wukong, they're going to pick some sort of range champ, so still going to be able to prevent that as well. But even just Braum's ult with the disengage ability can keep that Ezreal a lot safer. So going to be interesting to see what Marauders do decide to do here. I can imagine they're probably going to pick up, Rush going to be a very, very strong support in the meta right now, but kind of surprised to see it picked up into something like the Braum. But we're going to have to wait and see whether they decide to pick up their ADC here, or if they will go for their jungler. Of course, Wukong is probably going to be a solo laner, could also go into the jungle, but highly unlikely.
Would hope Marauders pick up an AD carry here, otherwise the Wolves free reign to drop double bans onto strong AD carries could ban away stuff like, the Kaisa, like something like a Jinx, but Varus going to be the pickup. There's Thresh, very strong lane. Thresh's Lantern able to compensate for Varus' lack of mobility. But Into and Ezreal Braum might be evenly matched. We'll have to see how both bot lanes choose to execute.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised to see the Varus picked up into the Braum. Braum going to offer that shielding and prevent the piercing arrow from piercing. So going to be an interesting one, especially in the laning phase. However, both of these AD carries super strong at the moment. But going to be an Ornn pickup. And kind of surprised to see that one at the moment, as it looks like there might be a little bit of issue with the draft at the moment. But we will get that figured out. And we are going to be hearing here in a second from one of our execs as we get this figured out. But for now, we are just going to take a little bit of a
All right, y'all, we're going to be going to a quick break here. We'll be back in a few. Don't go anywhere.
It's in caster.
All right, everybody. I believe we are going to be getting into the draft now. After we figured out some things that were going on in the last game, and the Marauders and Wolves will be changed to the Unicorns versus the Lions for the stream. So this is what is going to be going on in the stream tonight. So I am going to invite Daydream and Kevo back to this one to start breaking down the Unicorns versus the Lions for Game 2. It is not going to be like the last one. It is going to be these guys playing this time around. So I am going to let them in now. Go ahead, guys. Whenever you're ready, we can start with the Unicorns versus the Lions draft. It is just going to be the PentaQ.
All right. Here we go, getting ready. We already see all of the bands here. Going to see a Elise, Kha'Zix, and Seraphine band for Unicorns, and a Nocturne, Leona, and Lulu band from Lions. Finally seeing some supports and ADCs band out in this early game, but a quick pickup of Viego for the Unicorns here as they pick up a very, very strong pick. Going to immediately see the Ezreal, however, going to be followed by a probable jungler or top laner in the Volibear here.
I mean, I'm finally glad to see some prio being given to Viego. That champion is cracked as all hell. But a good response from the Lions picking the Ezreal and the Volibear. But it looks like might be an Ashe hover to respond in the AD carry slot. Ashe not considered at the top of the AD carry pool, but does offer a lot of CC, a lot of slows, long range engage, and with the physical damage being covered a lot by the Viego, could be, just what the Unicorns need as they do in fact lock that in. You can see what they're gonna blind next.
Yeah, definitely think it's a pretty good pick right now against Ezreal just because of the W poke and the range and lockdown that she offers. But I'd imagine we're going to see the support locked in here for Unicorns. And leave the Viego as a flex, either to jungle or top or mid. We've seen him play in every single one of those roles in competitive thus far.
Yeah, it's about wonder, what's going to be blinded. Like, you have the Ashe, you have the Viego. I mean, eventually you're going to need some magic damage to complement that. But that's going to be a Nunu lock. Means Viego is going to be going into a solo lane. Nunu, into a Volibear, both very tanky junglers, both, have decent gank pressure, but it is a bit disappointing that the Unicorns don't hold on to that Viego flex for 3 lanes. Now it can only be flexed into top or mid.
I like this Morgana pick that they actually ended up picking up here, so now they can flex the Volibear as jungle or top, and they can flex the Morgana as support or jungle. So definitely going to be offering them a lot of flexibility. Unicorns going to have to figure out what they want to pick and where, and what they're even going to ban. The only thing that I'd really say they know for sure that they can ban out well, and know that they're actually landing, is in mid lane, unless Morgana for some reason goes mid lane, but I kind of doubt that one will happen.
Well, I mean, Morgana going into the bot lane could be very good into the Ashe. I mean, Black Shield is one way to deal with an enchanted Crystal Arrow, but, it's really up to whatever the rest of the matchups are. Morgana could be going to Fordaddy, or it could be going to Sine.
Now, if Lions have an idea that the Viego is going into the mid lane, I don't think Morgana would be a bad pickup into that, as you can kind of just throw down the pool and prevent Viego from even getting close to you. So we'll see what direction both these teams do decide to go, but for now it looks like Lions going to ban out top laner in Shen, and Unicorns will ban out a mid laner, Yone, going to jump on the ban list. And we'll see what Lions want to take as their last ban.
I mean, that does sort of suggest that the Viego could be going mid. Yone into Viego is a pretty strong matchup. They could be covering for that, or they could just not like Yone. I mean, I wouldn't blame them. Yone offers great physical damage as well as a very strong teamfight ultimate. The Shen ban comes down from the Lions.
Yeah, we'll see what they want to do with this last ban here. I'd imagine they're going to ban another top laner. Yep, going to ban out the Mordekaiser, super strong right now. And that would offer them some AP threat, especially if they think this, Viego is going to go into the mid lane, going to want to ban out some of those AP top lane options. And a Malphite as the last ban from the Unicorns there. Just going to get rid of that safety pick with the Malphite, going to be super strong, super tanky, offers a lot just with his ultimate in the team fights. But we'll see what Lions do with draft here. They're going to have to draft something. Get rid of at least one of those flexes. And it's going to be a Karma pick, it looks like. So still a lot of flexibility from the Lions here. A pretty strong Ezreal comp, honestly, going to have a lot of supportive champs around this Ezreal, able to buff him up and keep him alive.
Karma with Ezreal, very strong synergy, as well as the AoE speed up can help a Volibear get into teamfights. I really like the Karma pick, honestly, no matter where it goes. You know,
I'm really liking Lions draft right now, for sure. But we'll see how Unicorns do respond to that. They need some AP pretty badly. Unless Nunu goes AP, they're going to have to see something here within the next couple of seconds.
Head locked in. Looks like that will be a Viego mid then. Your core top side of the map being Kled, Nunu, Viego.
What do you even pick as your support here? A lot of the options are either banned out. Maybe Thresh is still open. So that would be a very strong pick if Unicorns can pick that one up. Thresh will offer you some engage and some peel with the Flay and his ultimate. And the hook, of course, classic engage support right there, but still offers some peel. But we'll see what direction they do decide to go with this.
Yeah, I mean, Thresh is a cool champion and all with the hook potential, but we were talking about earlier, you know, Unicorns lacking magic damage, and Kled and Thresh are not what you want to see here. If you need magic damage, you know what does deal magic damage? Brand.
That is a spicy pick right there. A very squishy but very powerful team coming from Unicorns here. Going to offer a lot of damage. But Lions with such a good counter, I think, honestly. With the Mantra E shields and the escape tools with the Arcane Shift and the Black Shield, going to offer so much disengage from a lot of this damage output that Unicorns are looking for. And their only real engage is the Nunu and the Set going to be followed up here. So honestly going to be interesting to see where these do decide to go. I'm not honestly really very sure Volibear and Morgana and Set could all jungle or go in a solo lane.
I had to guess, I would probably put Set top, Volley jungle. Honestly, Karma Morgana mid could be a toss-up, same with support, but I don't know. I feel like Ezreal Karma is a safer lane than Ezreal Morgana, so I'd leave the Morgana to deal with the Viego, but that's just my personal take, you know. Whatever the Lions feel is best for their comp is what they are going to run with.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, from the draft phase, I'm liking their comp a lot more than any of the draft comps that we've seen thus far. So going to be an interesting one. Definitely a Ezreal carry style comp for the Lions here. But unlike our game earlier, going to be offering so many more tools to the rest of her team. Well, what's your take, Daydream, on the drafts? What do you like? What do we not like?
You know, I was really excited for the Unicorns when they picked Viego first. I like Viego. Viego's a fun champion, but they have managed to sort of disappoint me, I guess, with the rest of the draft. I mean, Kled as a blind pick, I mean, don't really understand the thought process there. I mean, I don't know how the Kled set matchup goes personally, but I don't really see what the Clyde does in this comp. I mean, maybe you could ult people in. I mean, they do have go buttons, I guess, with the Ashe R, with the Clyde R. I mean, Nunu W is kind of a go button, I guess, but you can't really rely on that when the enemy damage threat is as slippery as an Ezreal. So, depending on how these lane assignments go, I might be a little Lion's favored, although Ezreal is your only damage in that comp. Unless you get like a full AP Karma, full AP Morgana in the mid lane, you might not be able to get through some of these champions. Especially against a drain tank like Viego, he is going to be able to sort of sustain through anything that the Volibear in the set can put you through.
Yeah, absolutely. It is going to actually be the Karma going mid here, into the Viego. Personally, I would take, like you said, I agree. I think I would take Morgana into the Viego, just because the amount of wave clear that Morgana offers in the laning phase allows her to push and roam against Viego, who's going to take some time to clear the waves a lot of times.
I mean, yeah, I would definitely agree. I feel like in both sides of the matchup, Morgana Viego, and then in the bot lane too, I feel like Karma would fit better, but, it's really up to, whatever Lions feel like their players are most comfortable on. I guess the plus side to having, Karma that can sort of move around the map, less restricted, in the mid lane, but either way, it's going to be pretty spicy gameplay, especially in the bot lane. Morgana has Black Shield that can protect herself and Ezreal from the Ashe's CC, but one brand W and that Black Shield is going to be in great danger, so it's really going to come down to execution here.
Yeah, and honestly, like, Black Shield doesn't offer an insane amount in the 2v2 except for preventing the Ashe arrow, and of course Brand, if he lands the first of his combo, you can Black Shield stun, but really I don't think offers an insane amount of help, at least really against almost anything on the other team. Nunu Snowball, maybe a Viego stun if you can prevent that. Really, I'm wondering if it's maybe a situation where Aang's gaming doesn't really play Morgana, and so that's not something he needs to take. Or Cian just doesn't play that. But definitely going to be an interesting one as we get into this game. Going to be looking for some early ganks maybe from the Nunu here into that mid lane. Try to get this Karma down and try to get Viego ahead maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be really, dependent on, I said this earlier, it's gonna be dependent on execution. Maybe we can see the Nunu be the difference maker, Nunu and possibly the Volibear, with getting some early ganks, with getting some leads in lane.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be interested to see in which Dune tries to take. Whether that is towards the top side, you can get quite ahead and get him some pretty good damage. However, Set probably a solid S tier right now for top lane champs. Super strong on that top side. But Nunu is going to have a lot more clear speed, I think, as well against the Volibear. And should be able to stay healthier in her clear and get around the map a little bit quicker. So definitely I'm looking specifically at Ndune here for the jungle and what Excels can do on this Brand. Brand can absolutely take over a game if he can get ahead in early game. I think that while Ezreal and Morgana are both super safe champs, definitely Brand is something with his AoE that can offer an insane amount in team fights and even in the laning phase.
Yeah, I mean, gonna be Brand's champion. We don't see very much, in competitive, but he does have his strengths. He does have a lot of AoE damage. His passive is going to be doing a lot to this set, a lot to this Volibear. But I mean, I feel like Brand just presses R and Karma just ult shields, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be very tough. He's gonna have to pick his engages very well. Yeah, but I mean, let us know who you guys want to win. Make sure to vote using the power of Twitch chat, the power of technology. And, we're gonna go into a quick break, but we'll see you on the Rift.
And here we
Gamers.
go. Let's go.
Welcome back to Summoner's Rift. We see both teams getting out onto the map. Anything to note in Runes and Masteries? Not really. I mean, Brand with the Dark Harvest makes sense. He needs to be able to get some magic damage done for his team. Press the attack volley. I'm pretty sure that's standard. I am not a Volibear player by trade, but
He usually goes Conqueror. Now that might be different in the jungle, but most of the time when I see him played, at least I see him on Conqueror. So I'm surprised to see that, and also, I think maybe a phase rush might have been better here on the Karma as well. But other than that, the only thing I think from loading in the game worth noting, if you keep up with the skins and if you believe in the skins getting wins, it looks like the red side is going to be in the advantage here on the skins. Kled doesn't have a skin. Everyone else has a skin. Someone buy my man's skin. But anyway, it's going to be a super interesting game, as it looks like we are going to have jungler start on the same side this time.
One thing I do want to point out in terms of runes, we have Morgana with the Comets. Now, that, Comet versus Guardian, there's like strengths and weaknesses to both, but against an Ashe brand, picking Comet means that you are committed to winning the poke game. You don't have the Guardian to protect Ezreal against the poke, so it creates a higher bar of execution for the bot lane of Lions if they're going to want to survive. Because otherwise, with no Guardian, if you get hit by enough skill shots, and you can even see Ashe and Brand forcing the flash out of Sine. Ignite goes down too, but that is a positive summoner trade for the side of Unicorns.
Yeah, definitely very good from them. Thus far, is able to land and get the Dark Harvest out.
Yeah, and I mean, that there's no real defensive capabilities for this bot lane besides Black Shields when Morgana gets a high enough level and Ezreal's heal. I mean, Ezreal himself has Arcane Shift, but Arcane Shift doesn't matter if you put all the damage onto the Morgana. Speaking of damage, Beanie gets a good trade onto Aang's Gaming with the Viego, able to sort of flex the fact that Viego is very strong right now. Dylan Caesar taking 2 tower shots in return for the trade onto Morgana. Not ideal, but you are getting damage off, so it's not horrible. As Gayfinder Temple dashes in onto Gas Cloud 2003, it seems like everything's coming up Unicorns in terms of like early damage, but looks like something's happening mid lane. Wardaddy going for the gank onto the Viego, but Viego has stealth. Undue coming out of the bush, hits the snowball onto Wardaddy. Karma Shield goes down onto him, but it looks like Viego is going to be able to burst him down, takes Volibear's soul, flashes, hits the stun onto Karma, forces Karma's flash, Nunu flashes as well. Everyone is flashing, hits the snowball, but that's not going to be enough. 1 for 0 on the side of Unicorns, but it looks like Sine getting low, going for the tower dive. Ashe, what are you doing? As Sation able to pick up 2 quick kills. Do not know why you're going for that tower dive. You won the trade, you got the Morgana. She definitely has to back after that. All you have to do is just not walk into tower range and you don't give up a double kill, but Station on the Ezreal gifted 2 kills. That's really good for Lions.
Yeah, that's absolutely what you want to see from them. As Wardaddy is actually going to go and look for a trade. Looks like he's going to be winning, but Beanie going to get the roam first.
Black onto Undo. That's a kill for Wardaddy. Looks like the root coming down onto Beanie. Looks going to be second kill picked up for the Volibear. And just like that, the score is 4-1. Well, Unicorns forcing Station's Arcane Shift, getting the Dark Harvest proc off, but it looked really good, and then I blinked, and now they are down 3 kills. Speaking of kills, gets a pull back onto Gas Cloud 2003, but Gayfinder Temple just has to flash out. Wardaddy looking to chase him down, looking to dismount the Kled, but nothing's gonna happen. Very close play on both sides. Gas Cloud with about 200 health. Gayfinder Temple having to burn the flash to get out.
Yeah, Wardaddy after a little bit of over-aggression without his mid-push for the Scuttle, is able to come back out onto the map and get a couple kills and put himself back in the game pretty quickly. And definitely feeling pretty good for Lions here.
Yeah, I mean, Ezreal getting that advantage on the bot side. I was talking before about how the Ashe and the Brand were able to bully Ezreal out of this early farm. You see about a 2-wave lead for the Ashe in terms of creep score, but 2 waves, that's like a good advantage, but that is nowhere near as good as Ezreal picking up 2 kills. Although we do see the Dragon going down to the bot lane and jungle of Unicorns. Volibear just clearing his top side towards bot lane. We have about, I want to say, about a 2.5 camp lead for this Nunu over the Volibear, despite the Volibear getting the best of the mid-jungle 2v2.
Yeah, definitely. Chishin, though, here going to get pretty strong, able to come back into the lane with the Sheen, and the T are going to start stacking that. But once he gets this Divine Sunderer, no more the Divine Blunder, definitely super strong. I'd imagine the later into the game it goes, the easier it is going to be for them. As a nice root comes out from Cien.
Yeah, it looks like Nunu might be able to get out. No, that's a very fast bear. And the bear eats the boy on his Yeti. Nunu just going over vision, and Lions just able to capitalize on that. They, that was way too greedy. He W'd over the Scuttle vision. You could see the pings going down on the minimap. It looked like the Lions were perfectly ready to contest. And that is a 3-1 Volibear at 7 minutes into the game. I was a bit skeptical about the press the attack, but if Volibear is ahead, Volibear can go Sunder, Volibear can do damage. That is a scary bear who can jump on your team.
Yeah, he's super strong, and I'm gonna resist making too many bear puns, but definitely a very strong start from Boardaddy here. As they're going to get the push all the way into the getting this reset. However, Beanie with a big wave into this mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, Beanie, he got Nunu the early kill in the first 2v2. Did die in the second 2v2, but no matter what happens to the 2v2, you're still a Viego and you're still playing into Karma as the Ash Arrow gets black shielded by Sine, flashes away, and that's a very good escape by Morgana. He is just able to get out,
Oh, Kled might get caught out here.
Boardaddy on the control ward, hits the stun onto Kled. Gayfinder Temple dashes out, gets pulled back by Gas Cloud set, ulted onto the Nunu. He is dismounted. Karma is here. They have numbers advantage. They're just running Gayfinder Temple. Very sad, slow. Yordle able to remount though. This might spell success as Viego ults over the wall onto set. Gayfinder Temple not going down to Boardaddy, but it's Viego in a 1v3, gets the first kill onto Gascloud 2003. True Shot Barrage not going to hit anyone as Viego hits them with the set E, manages to turn the kill onto the Volibear. A great escape by Gayfinder Temple and undo to stall for Viego. He looks like he wants more. He's looking to hit the Spectral Maw, does not go down onto the Karma. That's going to be a good 2-for-0 for Unicorns.
Yeah, and that's the power of the Viego in that team fight. Once he's able to get there, ults onto the set, gets him down, and just possession after possession. Once you get the first reset in that team fight, it's so easy to just keep popping off with more resets on that Viego. Beanie able to get it done there.
You have to wonder, what are the Lions doing chasing so far? They know the Viego is a threat, they just disrespected it. As trade coming down, Sine just goes down to the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Heal comes down from Station, but it's not enough. Flashes away, dives to the Brand ulti and passive as a 2-for-0 in the bot lane. That's what I was worried about. Ash Brand does damage, and you don't have a champion, like the Karma that could help the Ezreal get away. Black Shield is cool and all, but Black Shield doesn't really do much in the face of an overwhelming amount of damage.
Yeah, and I want to give big props to Excel there, knowing the extent of his damage. Throws out the ult at almost the last second and picks up the second kill there. So very well done by that bot 2v2. And we're honestly seeing a little bit of a gold lead here in the early game for Unicorns up. Looks about 3K.
Gets the pullback onto Gascloud 2003, gonna decline the tower dive, but yeah, kill score has been evened out to 5-5. Unicorns with like more than a 2k gold lead here. This game has been very back and forth, as well as the Unicorns having a dragon, having the Rift Herald, going to donate some plates to Gayfinder Temple. It's Kled here, as that could just be first turret. Kled does a bunch of towers, but we see the Lions going for the Infernal Drake to respond, but it looks like it might be a 4v4 here. Gayfinder Temple gets the turret, teleports in. Dragon goes down to Boardaddy's Volibear, but they're looking for the fight. Looking all the burst damage onto Volibear. He goes down. Sine in the Zanya is able to get stuns, but it's not enough. Dylan XC is able to pick up the kill. Viego is popping off. really just able to get all of this damage. Seishin knows he is dead. That is a 4-0 in favor of Unicorns. And that is almost a 6k gold lead at 11 minutes. Beanie even wants more. Beanie wants the ace, Gas Cloud 2003. You know, wisely not going to take the fight against the Diego.
Yeah, and they let XLs just walk onto the back line, able to land everything while they were trying to focus the Nunu. XLs just walks in, presses R, and then every other button on his keyboard. And the amount of damage that Brand is going to output in this early game is absolutely insane. So going to get that, going to get, they lose the Dragon, but they're able to get so much on the rest of the map, have already gotten that top tower, about to get another tier 1 in the bot lane as Nunu might look for a gank.
Yeah, looking for the tower dive. Black Shield has now expired onto Sage, and Gatefinder Temple, you know, does die to the tower, and Ash dies to the tower too. That's actually a 2-for-1 in favor of Seishin. Seishin has 4 of his team's 7 kills. He has the Divine Sunderer. He is going to need to continue performing like this if he wants to give the Lions a chance to win.
Yeah, but the gold lead is just growing and growing. At this point, you really need to slow down the game. If you are Lions, let this Ezreal get some more CS, let him scale up a little bit, and get some vision down in your jungle, so you can prevent future dives.
One thing I want to notice, Beanie going in for the trade onto Ang's Gaming. XL is just getting damage onto Seishin. Like, if we look at Lion's comp, they have 1 damage champion, Ezreal. And Ezreal, you know, he has range, he has, you know, slipperiness, he has tank stats. He is not like a Kog'Maw, he is not a Jinx. He is not going to be enough. Oh, Enchanted Crystal Arrow does miss, but the stun goes down onto Sine. Diego goes in, Black Shield is far too late. Morgana is possessed, Black Shield onto Seishin, but you went way too far there, Beanie, as Daddy able to get a crucial shutdown, making the end of the play 1-for-1.
And XL's showing why he was the MVP of last split. Does absolutely everything there. Lands the stun, lands the follow-up damage, and just keeps setting up his teammates for these kills.
Gatefinder Temple does not care. Forces the flash, but an ulti comes out. That is not going to be able to do anything against this Kled. You know, I was a bit skeptical in draft about Unicorns, you know, about the picks that they went with. But one thing that cannot be denied is that they have a shit ton of damage. And, you know, with this early 6k gold lead, it's going to be very reminiscent of the last streamed game where Unicorns, if they execute correctly, can just roll over the Lions.
Yeah, absolutely. And you need to start seeing some tank stats come in from these tanky members. XL almost gets it over the wall. They're going to do enough to force them back, get some damage on this tower. I don't think they're going to be able to take it quite yet. But the next Rift Herald is going to be coming up in just a second. I imagine that one should be pretty free for the Unicorns.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at the item builds, oh, Seishin going in onto the Ashe, ease forward, does not get the kill, unfortunately. Daddy with the Volley Bear ultimate looking for XL's Brand. Heal goes down, heal is not enough. The Pyroclasm gets miniature damage. It's a good pick. Seishin and Daddy working really well together. They have the entirety of their team's kills. Now, I said that Lions lack damage, and I stand by that statement, but Volley Bear still is dangerous. Volley Bear still can jump onto your squishies. Volley Bear has a Divine Thunder, and we know that item is broken.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, though, the Rift Herald just now coming up, they weren't able to get any neutral jump-ups off the back of that, but were able to close the gold gap just a tiny bit, but still just above a 6k gold lead for Unicorns here. I'd imagine with their prio onto this drag, they're going to be there to set up before Lions. Should be able to take this one pretty freely as they do have much more damage.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that that Lions were able to pick up the Infernal Drake earlier. but an Ocean Soul, for whichever team that gets this is going to be super crucial. If Unicorns are able to pick up Ocean Soul, there is nothing Lions can do in terms of damage. Your mid laner and your support both have Moonstone Renewer. Nobody is going to get through the healing of an Ocean Soul, but Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes down. Looks like Kled ulting in too. Hits Vordaddy. Looks like they might be able to burst down the Volibear. Volibear goes down. Morgana goes down. Looks like another fight in favor of the Unicorns as Gas Cloud set also goes down. Nobody goes down on the side of Unicorns. Another kill picked up by the Ashe. Beanie is just possessing everyone. And Sation, the lone member alive, looking to E over the wall, but that is not a place you want to go. He goes down clean 5-for-0 ace from Unicorns.
Yeah, and great team fighting from them, especially XL's on the backside, along with Dylan, Caesar, able to just stay on the back line and output their damage. Meanwhile, on the front line, your Kled and your Diego and your Nunu are just sitting there smacking them in the face. Nunu being an oven and the other two, just throwing out autos. Able to output. Their burst potential is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at the item builds, we have Mythics coming in for all of Lions. 2 Divine Thunderers, 2 Moonstones, and a Triforce on the 0-3 set. That is not going to be enough. That is not going to do shit against this team. Like, they're going to have to rely on mistakes from Unicorns. It is a 10k gold lead at 18 minutes. You are not winning this on your own. They need to minimize as many mistakes as they can, and they need to hope that Unicorns messes up royally.
Yeah, absolutely. This one is going to be very hard to come back from now at a 10k deficit. Only 18 minutes in the game, 10k is huge. So Unicorns pretty much can do whatever they want at this point, as long as they don't walk into the enemy jungle without vision. I'm pretty sure they will be fine. But again, all you can really do for the Lions is try and turtle and try to get Shishin some more health, some more items, and allow him to output and be that hyper carry that you wanted him to be. Karma can still shield him along with some frontline action.
Enchanted Crystal Tower down onto Station, not going to be black shielded, but looks like nothing else comes out of that. Dylan Caesar maybe a little too trigger happy with these ults, although the cooldown isn't actually that long. It's such a powerful teamfight ult, but ults like the Ashe ult, like the Varus ult, they are on deceptively low cooldowns.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we keep saying, all you can really do is keep turtling that this Ezreal can carry.
Yeah, see Sine, Gas Cloud, and potentially Vordaddy looking to pincer off Unicorns. Looks like Unicorns are aware of the play, but will it be enough? TP coming down from Beanie's Viego. Oh, Gas Cloud, you are on the wrong side of the front line. Vordaddy flashes in, trying to get XLs. He will go down, but Vordaddy dies too with the 2-for-1 so far. As Lions running for the hills, 3-man Strikebreaker from Gatefinder Temple. Sine getting pulled back in, and Viego looking to open up Dark Binding into the Heartbreaker. Station can do nothing as Aang's Gaming on the Karma falls to the rest of Unicorns. And wow.
They honestly might close it out here. It is... they are looking extremely strong. Still have another Rift Herald charge, at least one.
Yeah, one extra.
They're gonna get another. Oh no, not quite. Not quite going to get another. But everyone is coming up now. I'd imagine that they're gonna push
for the end. They're looking for the fight. They're going in. That's another Heartbreaker. Vordaddy down just as he gets back up. Gas Cloud gonna fall soon after. That is the Nexus. A quick and pretty much a stomp. I mean, the draft was, a bit questionable by Lions. I mean, I don't really get what the team sort of does against the composition of Unicorns. Like,
I mean, I think it was a good draft. They got destroyed in the early game. Reminder to everyone, though, that you can vote for player of the game. This time it will be a player on Unicorns. My personal vote, I think, would go towards either Beanie or Undo on the Nunu, able to get a lot done on the map. But still, just an utter stomp from them, able to get pretty much all of that early damage down that they wanted. Doesn't have a hard time at all.
no, I mean, this game, I think maybe for a few seconds when Daddy got the 2 kills in mid lane and Sation managed to pick off 2 kills in the bot lane, I think that was the only time this game where Lions had any semblance of control. You know, just I feel like Unicorn's draft does what Lions draft does, but so much better. Because you do have decent frontline. You have the Kled, you have the Nunu, but you also have damage. You have this Leondius brand, you have Viego, the Drain Tank, Mage Fighter, Assassin, whatever. And on the side of Lions, you are putting everything in the Sation basket. And to his credit, Sation was able to do a lot this game. He was able to get damage down. He was able to do, you know, a lot to Unicorns, but he can't 1v9. You can't 1v9 as an Ezreal, this early into the game, and it looks like Unicorns really just took this game and ran with it.
Yeah, the amount of early damage that they were able to output, they kind of just snowballed from the get-go. Like you said, the Ezreal really needed to scale a lot more if he was going to 1v9, like the comp was designed to do. But absolutely phenomenal stuff coming out from the Unicorns. They are going to be moving up in the standings even further, and some great stuff from them.
Yeah, I mean, you could just see through that game, it was really well played by Unicorns. Dylan Caesar and XLs in the bot lane. Sation and Sene put up a strong fight, but just the amount of damage that the Ashe and the brand did. Beanie on the Viego, Karma couldn't really do anything to him. Undo's Nunu going around the map, and Gayfinder Temple with, even the solo kill onto Gas Cloud 2003. It was just really strong performance.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal stuff coming from them. But for now, we are going to, I believe, hand it over to Segundo to close out.
Actually, y'all, I think we can all just sit in this little lobby here while we wait for the last little bit of the polls to come in, because it will just end after this. But I gotta, we gotta talk about the games on the day, right? The first game was a little bit longer than this one. It wasn't as much of a stomp. This one only hitting that 21-minute mark. The Unicorns definitely popping off. There's a reason they're in that number 2 position over in Pool B. And looking real good and going into the last weeks of the playoff, or towards the playoffs, right? And for the Eagles in that first game of the day, also looking like they're going to be a contender when it comes to the playoff mark. So with the 2 games we've seen to get today, how do you think these guys fare up against a team like the Dragons or a team like, the Hornets, who we've seen in the past absolutely pop off?
I feel like both winning teams today showed a lot of potential, and I guess against these stronger teams, it will be tougher for them. I feel like while both the Unicorns and earlier the Eagles played strong, they did rely a bit on mistakes from their opponents. And against stronger teams, there's no guarantee that there would be, there will be these opportunities and there will be these mistakes. Drafts are probably going to be a bit harder as well. The comps are going to be a little more evenly matched. So they're going to have to sort of buckle down and really tighten up their play, because they played really well, but there were, glimpses, there were mistakes. In game 1, there was the overextension in the base, which gave the Stallions, a bit of a fighting chance. And, in this previous game, there was the 2 kills from Station that really was just an overextension by the bot lane. So they played really well, but there's definitely room to improve and room to tighten up the gameplay.
Yeah, I totally agree, and especially even for unicorns, I think in the future, when you're playing against teams that maybe are a little bit stronger of teams, know how to play around their champs a little bit better, it's going to be harder to get away with a comp like the one they just played, especially with XLs on this super damage heavy, but also super squishy support in the bot lane. Sometimes you're going to play against people who are going to play champs there are going to be harder to play stuff like that into, and teams that know how to play around their damage.
Yeah, I agree with you guys' points completely. For your player of the game, though, this time around, the Unicorns are going to pick it up with XLs. The brain support coming in hot. Absolutely destroying the enemy team. We're going to look at these damage charts. 10,000 damage on the support of the Unicorns here. And we saw some good plays out of that bot lane all throughout the game from the Unicorns. Of course, we had a pop-off performance from Beanie. But Dylan Caesar and XL's definitely showing up when it mattered in some of those fights.
I mean, in draft, I mentioned that they do need some magic damage, and XLs rather, definitely delivered. That brand was quite literally on fire. And okay, that's enough puns for the week. I'm sorry.
And XL's, I just saw your thing. My bad. I was doing it real quick. I capitalized your C for you, bro. So, unless you guys got any more closing thoughts, we can close this one on the day. We had two great games to start it off. A 38-minute banger, and then this one to round out the day. And again, we got LRS tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for that. And y'all got any closing thoughts to finish this one off?
Oh, just thank you all for having me on stream. I'm looking forward to future casts as well, and very excited to see how the end of the season turns out as we get closer and closer to playoffs.
I mean, thank you guys for having me. I guess I'll use my closing thoughts to give a little PSA. Draft damage. You need damage to kill people. If you don't have damage, you can't kill people. That's it from me. Thank you guys for tuning into the stream, and I'll hand it off to Segundo.
Yeah, it's been Gundo here. Segundo, either one works. Thanks you guys for joining the stream on the day. Week 6 closes out today with that Unicorns win, and I've been Gundo, joined by Daydream and my boy Kevbo. So thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for staying with us all throughout those breaks and everything. We'll catch you guys next week. Make sure you tune in for tomorrow. We do got the LRS going in with their draft, so make sure you tune in for those. There should be some banger games as well. Y'all have a good night.